Hey guys, so I'll just go a little bit over my Naxx. I mean, this was a fairly poor Naxx for me, but I thought it would be kind of fun to go over exactly what I did right and wrong here. It might help some other hunters. But yeah, just getting the buffs up or the consumables up, the Scourge Stone goes on, and swapping my trinket. I should have used a different trinket there for the trinket swap, but this fight is really short. Just get that auto off as fast as you can right into the aim shot. Try and stay in the sweet spot. We get really lucky. The tank pulls it right into the sweet spot there. And I go to the weave and parry. Don't tell my GM. He will not be happy about that. But take a risk and it does not pay off. Throw the dense dynamite here, which was a mistake. I should have saved it for a weave into the sapper. I'm just a little bit worried that these guys get melted so fast. There's not really the opportunity to sapper. You have to be really fast. I get lucky with like a batched raptor strike. Kind of fat fingered my raptor strike. And then you're just back into that aim shot, auto shot. Really the like rotation aim shot, auto shot, it's not that difficult. But if you don't have the right timing, you're if you don't time it right, you just lose so much, especially with the new KT crossbow. But yeah, I can go over it a little bit more in the next fight. Yeah, here we have this dancing boss. Don't put your pet on in the beginning, or else you parry haste. I should have turned around and done a few cheeky auto aim shots or auto shot aim shot more quickly. But yeah, I mean, I get super unlucky here. The best thing to do as a hunter is you see now you should be putting your pet in right on the boss, and then when after the thing you pull your pet back. My pet got hit by his AoE thing, and then you put your pet in again, and then you pull it back after the green part because it really sucks not to have your pet when when you have the tier 3 set bonus. I think the second to last, so like on the last one right before it, you don't have to pull your pet back because your tank normally gives you enough space for your pets to live. But you just have to remember that your pet's always at the very back of the boss, depending on when you send it in. So the best time to put your pet on the boss is after the boss is stationary, because the pet will be immediately in front of where it runs. So it'll just run straight. And if you put it in too early, it'll move the boss, and your pet will just swivel like a turret and move, and then your pet will die. And it really, really is not fun to have your pet dead. And here we have Loatheb, and really the most important thing for Loatheb is your positioning when you start auto attacking, or when you start getting into your rotation. I mean, I always like to stay on this like right little corner and move as far right as I possibly can. I don't like to start at cheetah. I know some people like doing it, but I don't like it. Wait to put your pet in until the boss is not until the pet won't be facing the boss. But here you see me just moving. I'm just moving, 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 trying to get to where the spore is. Especially if you're in like an early spore group, it's you really have to be ready to go. There's a first spore, and you're just in your rotation, saving your rapid fire for when you get the spore buff. And yeah, just in the aimed auto, I have my camera facing backwards, waiting for that spore. There we go. I think I'm just in range here, just lucky enough. You should weave and hit the spore, but someone else does it there. And then I just go into my rapid fire situation here and go right into it. I'm trying to move as close as the boss as possible for that sweet spot so I can do a bit of weaving there. I'm right into it now. And I'm waiting for my rapid fire to go off before I can start weaving. I should have thrown a dense dynamite, but I didn't. And here I am. I also get like a quick fire proc off, so I'm just waiting for that to go off. The KT bow is so fast. It feels like so fast compared to the Chromagus bow that I feel like I can't really weave when I have the rapid or the quick fire up. But maybe I'm wrong there. And then just back into the rotation. I'm really just waiting until my spore buff's almost off. Don't do this and like fat finger your Raptor Strike. It's you want to be hitting your Raptor Strike right when you're in range of the boss. And here, just moving it to location for the spore. I think one of the guys was in the wrong spot, but it's okay. I panic and hit my multi-shot before I get an auto off, just because I don't want to lose like the cooldown time. And unlucky, my pet dies, which is not fun. And then there we go, quick weave. Multi-shot, aim shot, get the rotation going, and then I'm debating getting another shadow pot on, but the Loatheb's almost dead, so worst case I get hit by one more. And then we just get as many weaves in as possible. It was a good weave. Yeah, just don't fat finger your Raptor Strike. That was a bad aim shot. You know, yeah, I'll try and get a little bit into like the aim shot, multi-shot rotation, but it isn't the easy. So you want to be running to the side here, especially as a hunter. You want to be on this side of the boss. You want to start here. I don't think I swap trinkets, which is really stupid. But yeah, you definitely should be trinket swapping here. You want to stay max range for your first swap. So you get your first trinket up, put in your, yeah, I swap back, which is really dumb. You get your active trinket, stand max range, so you can do the feign death swap. But I think I'm just trying to get in as fast as I can for the weaving, which I should not be doing. Get the quick grenade in, but as a hunter, you really want to be trying to aim. I mean, you just are getting you're just going your aim shot, multi-shot off as quickly as you can, you know, on cooldown in between autos, and and the boss dodging your melee weaving, which is great. And yeah, I mean that's really the hardest part of the rotation is like this trinket swapping and the resists, which trigger you obviously on the swaps. Yeah, and doing that, which is really annoying. But yeah, this was not the best fight. It was an okay fight for me, just because you have world buffs and you have so much gear, and I practiced enough the rotation where you can get an okay parse. But you really want to be getting these weaves down correct. I went in a little bit too early there, or went in early there to get closer into the boss, so I make sure I got that weave off, and I mess up the same shot. But yeah, it's nice to get like a Raptor Strike Sapper off. That's always quite fun. Otherwise, you're just right back into your rotation. I think this is one of the most fun bosses. But the biggest difference I'd suggest is getting your on-use trinket, getting it off as fast as possible with the rapid fire, and then going in for the weave afterwards, or the weaving. Just because, yeah, you don't waste yeah. It's so painful to watch missing a weave. It's so annoying. But that's life. You know, I can do it a lot better. There, I got dodge. So two dodges and two miss weaves. That's what is that? That's like potentially 8k damage that's missed there. But that's just, those are some ways to improve your patchwork. And don't die on Frogger. After this, I get really triggered because I don't die to Frogger, but I'm pulling, so I get knocked in the air, and as you can see here, my 3 is not a lip, when 3 is normally lip for me. And I forgot to put this up here, and just got nuked in the air. Yeah, so we have Grobbulus. I'm at half mana and no consumables because I died, which is not fun. And so I'm really tilted here. I'm really not so happy, but that's how it is. I normally always like to start a little bit ahead, way closer to the boss, um, for that first, to try and get that first weave going, or at least get a cheeky weave in. You don't want to be standing in front of the boss, but you can see the boss. He's standing here right now. I know where my tank's gonna pull him. So what you want to be doing is getting your aim shot, multi-shot timed to where it'll be a little bit off, or you get a kind of a feeling of like when the next poison cloud's gonna go off. I mean, it says right there, it's like 11 seconds there for the next poison cloud. So you want to be kind of like in front of, angled slightly to where the boss is going to be going if you're going to be doing weaving. And but again, I mean, Grobbulus is such a joke boss. It's just it's a little ridiculous. I mean, he's definitely the easiest boss in this raid, I think. But you don't want to be turreting like this. You want to be a little bit more proactive. And again, it's just about getting your aim shot. Now we have Gluth. Yes, Gluth. So I swapped to Trank here, which kind of cucks me a little bit in the next bosses, but I always like to jump to the right so I can get this aim shot, or at least get my rotation going. I start with a multi-shot because our tank moves him almost immediately. He's normally out of range by the time my my aim shot goes off, which is really not fun for me. And yeah, we just get into the rotation. It's really easy. You just have to track shot when he goes up. And I think I did mine already. I was the second to go off the trank, or I have to do it now. But again, Gluth, he dies really quick. I believe you can time a little bit to get some weaves in here. Like if you're just positioning yourself a little bit closer for when the fear goes off. Yeah, you have the terrifying roar timer. You just want to stand a little bit out of his melee range. You can see how close the healers are. But yeah, you can get really close in there to do some weaving. Just try, and I've done it before, but again, I'm a bit tilted here, so that's just how it is. You can, the best is to have like an on-active trinket here, and just get it off. And if you fail to get it swapped, it's not the end. Yeah, here's Thaddius. I like Thaddius a bit. It's a little annoying as a hunter, but that's the life of a hunter with this melee range stuff. I auto attack too late here. You want to be attacking. I should have started with an auto aim shot much earlier, but I was just scared because last week I started too early. I canceled my aim shot because last week I pulled threat and almost died. But here we go. This counts as your parse, as part of your parse. So you want to be going as much as you can, or I believe it does. I tried to get a weave off here, but fail miserably because I'm tilted. And then yeah, I mean he shoots off this thunderclap, so you need to be very careful of that, or a little bit further back. I mean, it's not bad to try and get some hits in. I'd save your cooldowns. I mean, this is quite simple. You just listen to the callouts from the boss, and yeah, and make the jump. Make the jump, and there's this little sneaky corner you can get in as a hunter. This is my favorite point here. You just feign death drink, and this is the best spot for a hunter to stand, or on the other side, because the tank will move the boss occasionally further close to you. Like he always moves. I don't know why. So this is the best spot to stand, so you have enough time to get into your position without hitting the raid. I would like to run in a little bit in the middle just to be safe, and I get a weave off, or at least a raptor strike off. I panic and do multi-shot before my auto mistake. And then I go into the rapid fire once I have the full stacks. We have 19 stacks there. Get your dense dynamite out. And yeah, I get a little bit scared here because I don't want to blow up the raid, but you can weave here. You just want to realize where you don't want to run all the way in to where the little red marker is. You want to be where the melee are standing. So you just run in, run to where the melee are, weave, and then run back. And if you're not weaving here, I feel like you lose out an incredible amount of damage. I mean, just because each of your hits are like turbo mode here. Yeah, and then the polarity shift. I think I go positive here. Yeah, perfect. Get the raptor strike in, and then auto, and then aim shot. The boss is always moving, which I really don't like about this. You know, you expect him to be standing still, but he's always moving. I think it has something to do with the tank's like range and what he's hitting. But his melee range is a little deceptive and can be difficult to get a hold of. But yeah, Instructor Razuvious. Here we go. This fight, it really depends on how well your priest does in mind controlling. Here, our priest does really well, but if you have some problems with your priest, you would want to lip. Like you'd send your pet in immediately and just lip and start attacking. Sorry, you lip, start attacking, and then you send your pet in. But here, our priest does really well. You just want to get out on the disrupting shouts and get as much in as you can. I know the disrupting shout timer is can be a little bit late, but it's never that early. So you can stay in for a bit, you know, risk it a little bit, and you won't really die as a hunter. And worst case scenario, you have to take a mana pot. But you just get into your rotation, pull the rapid fire, and get out of the demo shouts. Yeah, I get in that last auto and go back in. Auto. I should have auto aim shot, but I was trying to get the just keep it secret. I think I was trying to see if I could. I got a little bit. You know, as a hunter, you always want to be hitting as many stuff as possible. You know, you get the numbers up. But anyway, so I go back in. I think my aim shot goes up, and I try to get it off, but I cancel it because I get a little freaked out, which was a good idea because I would have gotten hit. And just back into the rotation. Simple enough. And yeah, he's dead. Yeah, so you want to do this jump. You jump into this corner, and then you look at the fence, and you jump in. I mean, this is my first time doing it, so I'm normally not the one pulling. But yeah, you jump in the corner, you look on the fence, and then you, yeah, right here. And then you jump, yeah, like that, and you go up, and then you call your pet, dismiss your pet, and then call your pet again. And then you Eyes of the Beast, and you get your pet to start pulling. And you can either stand here and do it, or you can jump down there. Then we get into Four Horsemen. Four Horsemen, I think, is kind of a super technical fight. There is definitely a way to min-max this. It's just like a little bit, I don't know. It's interesting, but also kind of triggering with the shield walls. It really is not fun, but I'll go over some of the mistakes I made here. We always pull them all four together in Sapper, but as a hunter, you know, do you want to risk running in and sappering, or do you just start with the multi-shot? I mean, you can do is like lip multi-shot in here if you're scared, or you can just wait a bit. The tank should be opening with taunt. You should be popping your rapid fire here so you get away from the shield wall. But I do it too late. I popped it there, but it's too late, which is really frustrating. You should be using your unused trinkets. This is a perfect time for the unused trinket. Um, but yeah, you should be trinket swapping here, getting it, when you're in the sweet spot or in the out of range spot. We do something a little bit differently, where at 15% all the range, they go to Mograine. So they get away from Thane, and the melee finish off Thane. So I think now Thane dies, but when you'll see the melee running over, and Thane will be dead. And the range are just pumping Mograine. I mean, you could also just save your rapid fire for this point. And of course, mage gets ignite. You can see the mage is saying drop, 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 drop the ignite. um, but yeah, I mean, I want to stay in a little bit longer, so I pull a shadow resistance pot. I don't think I really needed to, but I just did to be safe. I mean, hunters, you can definitely take that fourth mark, no problem. I mean, depending on how much you want to like trigger your healers, but just I would stay in for that fourth mark, to be honest. Especially now that I watched the video again. I'm too far away for the dense dynamite. You could be doing some weaving here, but you should be probably doing some weaving here, but the boss is moving around a little bit. But yeah, you're just in your rotation, and of course you get into the rotation and he shield walls. And yeah, I mean, simple enough. I do like a demonic rune here, which I probably should have done earlier. And then I'm away for the mark. One of the tricks for the marks is you can see the mark timer, and you only run in after the mark has gone off. Like you can see the mark timer, it's on mark 12. So like if I was going to another spot right now, I would wait for the next mark to go off, and then I would run to the next boss that I was going to. Here you just want to stay at range, very simple. Everyone always messes this up, as you can see from the dead bodies on the floor. And you just want to go and do damage. You can't really throw any dense dynamite because you are out of range, I believe. And I don't think it's worth risking killing whatever healers you have there, because you will screw it up for everyone. And I just quickly try to cheat away, time it so I don't get that fourth mark. But again, it's probably not the end of the world. And then I'm waiting for my stack to go down. There we have mark 16. So I run in now. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. And then you're back into your rotation, obviously watching for the void zones on the floor. I get in a little bit closer to get the dense dynamite out, and then into an aim shot. And if you're playing as a hunter, you really want to remove your backpedal key. I should have waited to get that last auto off. And here I'm a bit screwed for the next 16 seconds because I have 3 stacks of Zeliak. So in hindsight, I should have stayed for that extra stack and waited to go in. Should have also swapped trinkets, but yeah, that's life. And yeah, he walls. There you go. And then right when he walls, I get to go in. Great. And yeah, and then you just go away, go do as much damage as you can. You can see here we have a big problem. I'm trying to move away from the boss because I think we had someone accidentally taunted, and yeah, but you always have a little bit of cock-ups here on this boss. And then you just are doing damage, see, too far away, and then pretty sure I was like laughing at someone who died with full war buffs here. And yeah, I mean, just simple enough. I mean, you can even leave your pet on stay in the safe spot. I'm unsure if you'll still get that set bonus, but it's better than having a dead pet. I mean, your pet micro is really important with that tier 3 set. I think I said it already before, but it's I think it's 50 attack. Here we have Anub'Rekhan. The best thing with Anub'Rekhan is to make sure you have your Badge of the Swarm god up immediately. You start with an auto and to the multi-shot. And then I mean, he gets burned so quick, it's easy clap. Here we go. Yeah, auto into the multi-shot. I should have popped Badge of the Swarm god before multi-shot the first time. Just because it does your Badge of the Swarm god goes off if you are multi-shotting on more than one target. And yeah, the rapid fire is up. It's quite simple, this one. The only thing is when you are fighting him, and if you're burning him fast enough, you want to be standing kind of in the sweet spot of him, especially if you're one-phasing. And that's because, yeah, I should have put my pet back there. I normally do. I've been just like way too lazy to have the macro. See, here you go. He turns to me, but I have the macro now. He turns to me, and if I was in the sweet spot, I could have gotten away. You see me like stutter step a little bit to get out of there. But if you are closer, because it's a frontal cone, it's much easier to get out of there if you're closer. Here we go. We have this mind control boss. I really hate this boss. It's really not fun for me. Especially, I think it's not fun for any hunter, just because it's, the ads, they get killed so quickly, and then you're kind of just stuck there. But I get a cheeky multi-shot in with a nice raptor. That was nice. A little bit lucky. I have two one-handers on now just because I want to save my Scourge Stones. And yeah, I guess I got that hidden with a grenade. And really, you just want to find a spot away from everyone else. I mean, you have the advantage with the range, so just try and find a spot away from everyone else so you don't have to interrupt your rotation once the fireballs come down. It's not that big of a deal because you can just move out of there, but it's inconvenient if you are in the middle of an aim shot rotation. And yeah, I suggest swapping also. I mean, if you have badge, I would use that, especially at the beginning of the fight, just so you can get some of those stacks off. And if you're pulling, I would just start. You have to start. We're already going for the next mob. So here's Maexxna, or whatever her name is. If you really want to pump, I strongly suggest. I should have gotten I should have had a little bit more confidence in my warrior there. But if you're scared, you can just lip. I mean, the fight is so short that you're not really going to need a mana pot. So it's if you want to get in that little bit of pump earlier, I suggest just lipping and going in. If you're trying to parse really hard and you don't give a shit about what your raid leader tells you to do, just ignore the wraps. I'm trying to be a nice guy here, so I do it, or at least I try to kill them, and then I'm on the boss again. Easy enough, simple enough here. Yeah. It's just about managing your threat. I mean, if your tank is not good, then threat's a bit of an issue. But our tank is really good, so we have no problem here. Yeah, I get a little. I should have. Yeah, I'm trying to be a nice guy and get the wraps here and move over, but it does interrupt that rotation. And then into that aim shot again. I mean, Maexxna now, I mean, the whole of Spider Wing is so easy these days. It's here we have Sapphiron. I'm trying to like stay as close to the tank as possible so I can get as far away from everyone as possible as a hunter. You can stand quite far back. I think right where I'm standing now is a good spot to stand because you're just in range for him to hit him while he's in air phase, and be far enough away from people. Yeah, I definitely like to stay a bit. I like to kind of like get my own area, You know, and like when you're in the grocery store and your mom is like, if you get lost, what's the best thing to do? You just stand still. So I kind of like to just mark an area out for myself, and people kind of it's not move around you, but they understand that you're like if you have two people moving, it can be a bit annoying for all the other people around you. You can get your dense dynamite out, and it'll hit. You can throw it a little bit away from him, even if it's not in his like little red zone. You'll still hit him. I screw that up there, and I'm a little bit close to Pew. So sorry about that. But yeah, you just want to make sure you're in range, close enough to him to still hit him in the air phase. Right, it's really important. I swapped the wrong trinket because I'm just dumb. I guess I did that earlier. That's so stupid. And then you go back to your spot, your little spot that you've carved out for yourself. You can see everyone kind of like moving away from you. And if you get hit by Blizzard at this point, I don't know what to tell you. You're probably a bit trouble in your exam scores if you're still getting hit by Blizzard. Or you're just smoked out of your brain cells here. Yeah, you want to be swapping behind the ice pillars if you can, or try to swap a little bit earlier. I think we get 2 phases here, or 2 air phases here, which is not so bad. But yeah, it's quite simple. The key, I think, is a DPS here is you want to put on just enough frost resistance gear where your raid is comfortable or where your healers are comfortable. You want to be like a little bit on the edge of what's like comfortable for you, but also not pissing off your raid. So yeah, you can see some people going a little bit overboard, some people not enough. But that's just what happens whenever you're raiding. You wait for that 4th ice ball. You want to stay out longer. Like I think that's T-Bay there. He's doing it correctly, and just be getting in on time. It's definitely risky, but something for you to keep in mind. My dense dynamite's on cooldown here, which is not good, or not on cooldown. Oh, there we go. And just like try and position yourself where you won't be out of range for when he goes into that air phase. We were really worried that we were going to... There I am, a little bit upset that I got the wrong trinket. I'm out of the Frost Nova Blizzard, just barely, but I'd move a little bit more just in case. And yeah, I feign death and resist. And then, yeah, I mean, you just want to be... You should also have a shadow protection potion up, obviously. But yeah, you can also weave on this boss. I mean, weaving on this boss is actually really easy if you want to. I have 2 one-handers here because I think I mentioned already, but I'm just trying to save my stone so I don't totally run out here. I mean, it's not really worth putting on 2 stones for when you die after the 4th boss or something in this raid. So yeah, I just put on my 2 one-handers and stayed in the back. But yeah, simple enough. Sapphiron's dead, and then we move on to KT. Yeah, I'm skipping phase 1. Phase 1 is the most boring thing in this whole game. I really hate phase 1, but I just go after the skeletons because no one else is doing it, because everyone's trying to get their raid damage up. So I'm just trying to get the skeletons as much as I possibly can, because it is not fun having skeletons near the raid. But yeah, I was trying to like carve out, 3 zones for myself. And here we go, to clear out the skeletons. But here we go, KT goes off. You should really be getting your pet on KT now. But the second he jumps out, just pump these Soul Reavers as hard as you can. 99% of the time, you'll be standing next to the Soul Reaver as a hunter weaver, and everyone will yell at you for not killing it. and it'll be your fault, as always. I could have popped another shadow. Oh, sorry. Now I popped the second shadow resistance potion. Your pet will not chain the ice block, so feel free to put your pet on the boss. Just watch for the void zones, and you should be microing your pet to the void zone. You should swap your trinket. Oh, I should swap my trinket there. That would have been a good idea. This is a totally scuffed KTE kill. The worst fight we have. And one other thing, everyone in your raid is going to be telling you not to multi-shot. And what they mean by that is don't multi-shot in this exact phase. I mean, you can see the sheeps everywhere, and even if you multi-shot right when they go off, as long as you're not breaking the sheep, it's okay. But it's when you start breaking sheep, it's a bit of a problem. I mean, then everyone will get really mad at you. But feel free to multi-shot in this phase and just get ready for the mind control phase and just kind of keep your eyes open. I think I just multi-shot a little bit too late on one of these and I hit them, but it doesn't break any of the CC, so it's okay. Everyone will be yelling at you to watch your threat. When he does the MC, I mean, as a hunter, you should be watching your threat 100%. Like if you go into an auto, then aim, then auto and multi-shot, or 4 crit, then you're totally screwed and you feign death resist, then everyone will scream at you. But just be aware that there is a threat reset here. Yeah, and my pet died, which is not fun, but wasn't healed through the frost blast. And again, everything's going okay-ish here. We have 2 dead. And I remember this. I'm like looking on my bars for my scatter shot. So my scatter shot's always shift Q, but I switch it out for trank shot when we have Gluth, 'cause it's yeah, I mean, pointless having trank shot now in classic. I'm running over here to kind of help the hunter because I think we missed the mind control CC cap thing. And I try to help them out here. I'm kind of like waiting for yeah, it breaks. And then there's a second one, I think, right afterwards. Yeah. Oh, I should have. Then I scatter shot, feign death resist, and then I try hitting him to get him back over here. So or I think it's Puga or Tika. Anyway, and yeah, we were trying to hit him to get him back to the frost trap. And then we just go again, and then we're just trying to like burn the boss because this is totally scuffed now. I'm trying to hit this guy to get him, or I scatter shot him to get him out of off of the healer here, but it's just kind of, yeah, I mean, this is totally scuffed, but we got him. I mean, this was a totally clean raid almost. I mean, not for me, I died so early, but at least for the raid, this is a good time for us. I think it was just above 2 hours. And it would have been less if we wiped on KT right before this. We would have gotten like a sub 2 hour run, maybe like 250 or something.